And welcome into Badger Blueprint. I'm Zach Hanley alongside Andrew Bandstra. And for the next 30 minutes, we're going to get you ready for Wisconsin's big-time showdown with Michigan State.
Now, the Breslin Center used to be a house of horror for the Badgers. Before their win there in December of 2020, Wisconsin had not won in East Lansing since 2004. Since then, it's been 3 straight road wins in this series, and a 4th, well, that would shake up the Big Ten standings and give Greg Gard's squad their 3rd win over a top 10 team this season.
Playing in these big games are fun, and like you said, it's a top 11 showdown, so it'll be a packed house. They're gonna be ready, but most importantly, our guys, we're gonna be ready. So just looking forward to it.
But it won't be as easy as it sounds. The Spartans check all the boxes. They can score with anyone, and per usual, they can shut you down on defense. And oh, by the way, Tom Izzo is still their head coach, and when it comes to March, he always has his teams playing their best basketball of the year.
He's got the most wins in Big Ten history. I mean, I don't know what else I need to say. He's been in the Hall of Fame for a long time. He's been a great mentor for me prior to being a head coach, and since that, he's got a really good team. They're deep, they're big, and obviously I can't say enough about him as a coach and what he's done for our league, what he's done for Michigan State, what he's done for college basketball. And I think I said this a year ago, maybe when they were here. It would be a sad day when he's not coaching anymore, because he's one of the throwbacks, in terms of he has his way, and he's very demanding and kind of like the guy I used to work for. And like I said, I just have great respect for Tom.
And we're just getting started. We look back at a memorable game between these two programs and catch up with a guy who knows a thing or two about winning in March. More Badger Blueprint after the break.
How this Wisconsin team plays and scores has a lot of people feeling like it's the 2014-15 season all over again, and we all remember their run to the national championship game.
Well, we caught up with a key piece of that team, Josh Gosser, to get his take on this year's squad and how the two compare.
Jefferson, outside Decker, it's a 3, got it! Dagger!
Earlier in the year, right, you guys, your back-to-back Final Four teams, honored before the Arizona game, and then this year's team continued that tradition of beating the Wildcats. Since then, they've kind of been compared to that 14-15 team. Do you see similarities to that team, or you more looking like, hey, this team reminds you of the 13-14 team?
Yeah, I think it's definitely the 13-14 team. I think the season's kind of played out that way. 2014-2015 team, that team was kind of on a different level. I think we were top 5 the entire year and just kind of dominant, and we knew it all season long. Whereas 13-14, we didn't really know who we were. We lost a lot of guys from the year before. We were trying to figure it out throughout the year, and that's kind of how this team started. We lost Chucky, Connor, AJ, lost a big Tyler, like a lot of guys, and you didn't really know what this team was coming into. And it turns out that they were a very special offensive team. They found their roles. They could score at a high clip. And I think that's exactly what we did in 2013, 2014, and had a really successful year. We didn't win the Big Ten championship or anything like that, but we got a high seed and kind of got hot. And I think this team has that same makeup to be able to, make a run like we did.
So I'm going to put you on the spot. Best of 7 between this year's team and the 13-14 team. How many wins are you getting, and who's winning the series?
Man, 13-14 team. Well, 14-15, we win 4-0. 13-14, I think it could go 7 games, honestly. It would be back and forth. I think Frank would be an exceptionally challenging matchup for them, and Nigel, but I think the way that Tanjay and Blackwell can score and get downhill, it would be a very competitive series, and I think it would come down to a couple plays, and whoever got it done. I think the proof's in the pudding that we were able to win a lot of those big-time games in March, so I guess I would take us in 6 or 7 just because of that, but this team's got a shot.
You want to play meaningful games during this time of year, right? You've played in a bunch of meaningful games.
There will be no undefeated champion on Wisconsin.
This team is doing that. What's it like for you to see this group of Badgers kind of bring that back and being able, like this game against Michigan State, Big Ten seeding, Big Ten championship, NCAA tournament seeding. A lot's on the line.
Yeah, I'm proud of the guys to put themselves in this position. This is what you play for. I mean, this is what you work all off season for. This is what those games in November, like, yeah, you're trying to win them, but you're also preparing yourself to put yourself in a position to play in these types of moments and these type of games. And really your whole life. I mean, this is what you dream of. This is why you come to Wisconsin. You come to Wisconsin to be in the mix in March and to have a chance to win championships. And I'm proud that these kids get to experience that. And I think they deserve it. They put themselves in a really good position. They have great chemistry. They have great talent. They play well together. They're tough. So it's gonna be one of those games I'm excited that they get to play for. And but this is not the end. This is just kind of the start. They've had such a good season, but this is really where it starts. This game at Michigan State, and then to hopefully catapult them into the Big Ten tournament and NCAA tournament to make a run.
So I'm gonna ask you to put your Captain America hat back on one last time. What would your message be to this group?
They're as good or better than anybody in the country, and I think they should believe that and act that way, and not to be scared about having lofty goals. Like, I don't think they should just be like hoping to win a couple games in the tournament. Like, they should have full belief and confidence that they can go as far as they want to go. So I think they just tell them that and just do it. Enjoy the experience. I guess you mentioned I'm kind of an old guy now. Like, it goes by fast, so enjoy every moment. Like, every possession, every game, like, really matters, and it'll come to a halt soon. So the memories that you create this time of the year will literally last a lifetime. The relationships, all that. So just to go crazy, have fun with it, and now's the time.
And make them believe, right?
Yeah, make them believe, exactly. You gotta make yourself believe first, and I think I sense that they believe internally that they're pretty darn good, which is cool. And now it's, to your point, make everybody else around them believe too.
Step back, Jack, and yes.
Welcome back to Badger Blueprint, and we welcome in our guy, Nick Osen, for 24/7 Sports. Now, we'll get to the game in a minute, but I need an honest answer here. If I would have told you after the UW River Falls exhibition game back in October that this team would be playing meaningful games in March, what would you have told me?
Zach, I can't lie to you guys. I was optimistic on this group. I think that I would have thought they'd make a tournament run and things of that nature. But if you really told me they'd have a chance at a Big Ten title with 2 or 3 weeks left and just outside the top 10 in the rankings and all of this potential seeding that we'll get into, I'm not sure I would have believed that. This has been an incredible job from these players, the veterans, Coach Gard, and quite honestly, Kirk Penny and the staff.
Nick, this team has shown its toughness with road wins at USC, Rutgers, and Purdue. What is it about this group that they do so well when they go into tough environments and leave with a win?
Andrew, believe it or not, what actually really kind of turned my thoughts about this team on the road was actually a loss, even back in December against Illinois. They could have easily folded. Illinois has a bunch of talent, all the momentum, but they were in it within 2 to 3 minutes left. Could have folded at Purdue like we kind of talked about recently. And so to me, it's two things. It's this unselfishness and belief within each other that they can get things done. And again, it's being old. It is a bunch of veteran guys that all consistently have one goal, just the ability to get a few stops, score among the best in the entire nation. I think hand in hand, that all goes together on top of the trust that Coach Gard has in his veterans.
Now, Michigan State is always tough, but I believe the saying is January, February, Izzo, April, because the Spartans are so good in March. So who's the X factor for the Badgers if they want to go into East Lansing and have some success?
Zach, as long as it's not cheating today, I'm going to give you a couple X factors. One I mentioned last time, Kamari McGee, and ironically enough, he ended up as one in Purdue, just not the way that we thought. So I'm going to go with Kamari, as well as Jack Janicki. Guys, he really showed me something at that Purdue game. I knew that he could score a little bit, but the way he defended at times, Braden Smith or Lawyer, I think that was huge. You need that against Michigan State's guards because they don't necessarily have a superstar, but 4, 5, 6 guards that can get you anywhere between 7 and 18 a game.
All right, Nick, let's get down to brass tacks. You correctly picked Wisconsin defeating Purdue last time on our Badger Blueprint. Will you go 2 for 2? Are you picking the Badgers again in yet another tough road environment?
Well, guys, you see my jacket today. This is Badger Blueprint. It's not Spartan Blueprint, but all jokes aside, quite honestly, I am. I actually was most confident in this matchup instead of the Purdue one earlier in the month of February. I feel like Wisconsin has good guards, great stars at the top. We've talked about John Blackwell before. Talk about John Tanjay with his size. Blackwell, I just mentioned the X factors. I think as long as Stephen Crowell and Nolan Winter play physical, aggressive like they have been, there's no question they are more skilled than Michigan State's post. Now, those guys on the Spartans, they'll get down and dirty. They can be aggressive, get a lot of rebounds, fouls, but just sheer star power and ceiling, I like this group, quite honestly, to make it 4 in a row in the land of the Spartans.
All right, well, before we let you go, they're kind of on that 2 or 3 seed line for the NCAA tournament. Is there a chance that they get to a 1 seed, or are they pretty locked where they are right now?
Yeah, really good question, Zach. So I think before that Oregon game, there was still a little bit of a chance. Now, I would essentially rule that out. As of right now, I'd put them comfortably as a 2. If they can win in Michigan State, I would consider that a lock. And I don't see them getting lower than a 3 so long as they win at least 2 out of these 3 next games. Great chance to be playing in Milwaukee, guys.
All right, you heard it here first. Selection Sunday right around the corner. Nick, thanks as always. And coming up next, we sit down with the guy that makes the Badgers go. More Badger Blueprint after the break.
Before the season started, expectations outside of Greg Gard's program, simply put, were not high. After losing A.J. Storr and Chucky Hepburn to the transfer portal, the Badgers were picked to finish 12th in the Big Ten.
But the Badgers did not care. They knew what they had and who they brought in, namely John Tanjay, who's been a perfect fit for Wisconsin. When you first got here, you said you just prayed to be the last guy on the bench. And have you been able to stop and take a moment and just think about where you are now and the success that you're having with this team?
You know, it's been surreal. It's a year that, you know, you don't really know exactly what you're getting yourself into. Obviously, there's high expectations, but you know, to see how this season has unfolded, it's been amazing.
It seemed like your coming out party was against Arizona. You scored 41 points with Frank Kaminsky in attendance. And then, you know, just recently, back-to-back 30-point games.
Tanjay for 3, right side, money. It's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous.
The first Badger to do that since Michael Finley, whose number is hanging in the rafters. Just to be mentioned with those Badger legends, what does that mean to you?
It means a lot. I mean, those are guys I've heard of. I've played 2K with before, and it's awesome to see that, you know, they still show love and they're always coming to events and kind of just showing their support. And I think it's been, you know, awesome to be named, you know, in the same breath as them.
You can score all over the place, right? At any level.
Knocked away by Tanjay on the run. Thornton off his hip. Tanjay hammers it down.
Free throw line, in the paint, you know, mid-range, three-point range.
Dribbles off the right wing, darts to Tanjay. Left corner 3. Yes, sir.
How would you guard yourself?
Ah, man, I can't give away any. I can't give you know, these teams' tactics, but it wouldn't be easy. I don't know.
When you came here, did you dream that you'd have the success that you're having? Because, you know, Naismith watch list.
Trying to D him up. A step back 3 for Tanjay. Yes! Oh, John Tanjay on fire.
Oscar Robertson trophy watch list.
Knocked away by Tanjay. John runs it down. Tanjay to the goal. Slam dunk with the right hand. Oh, goodness.
And I'm going to add Big Ten Player of the Year. You know, you're in that category. Did you think that was possible?
I didn't think it wasn't possible. It's just kind of hard for me to sit down and set goals. I think I'm more of a day-by-day person, so to say these big prestigious award and names, they sound so huge and so far away, but I think when I just attack things day by day and stay present, you know, the sky's the limit.
Do you ever think about those awards?
Sometimes I look at the name, see who's on there, and obviously when I was put on there and they made the graphic, it was a cool thing to look at, and I was like, oh wow, I guess I am kind of on track and doing some of the right things.
Beats Tanjay, open three, right pocket, yes, and one! John Tanjay with a 4-point opportunity.
So when your time as a Badger is over, what do you want people to remember about you? Or what's the legacy that you want to leave here?
Yeah, I want to be known as someone that worked hard and was humble. Just someone who's willing to listen to anybody that comes across and just show love to anyone that's a Badger fan, and because that's all I've been getting since I've got here is just love and support.
Pass stolen away by Tanjay. Here's John on the loose down the lane to the rim, and he rips it down with the right hand. Tanjay with bad intentions.
Olympic sport I would like to try, breakdancing. Yeah. I try breakdancing for sure.
I'd want to try track maybe. See how that feels a little bit. I don't know what in track, whether it be hurdles or running, but try something in track.
Handball. My mom always told me I should have been a handball player, but it's too late now, but I think I'd be a good handball player.
Snowboarding. I'm a big Shaun White fan. I've always liked the X Games and that type of thing, so like snowboarding. I know I'd be no good, but I'd get down that ramp a couple times though.
I think bobsledding. I think that has always just kind of been a fun little sport that I've never got to try, nor do I know if I'll ever be able to try it. So I think that would be one sport that I would want to.
Oh gosh, I have no business competing in any of those. Swimming. I feel like if I started at a young age swimming, I got big feet and like long levers, I think I could be pretty competitive, but not right now.
All that's left to do now is make our picks. Andrew, who do you got?
Yeah, Zach, last time I told you that Wisconsin was going to beat Purdue, and that was a little bit of a bold prediction on my half. It came to fruition, but this time I'm not going there. I think Michigan State takes this game today. I don't think that it's anything to go against the Badgers. I just think Michigan State gets this one at the Breslin Center, and Wisconsin uses it as a learning lesson moving forward.
Andrew, this team plays better when there's no pressure. Michigan State has lost just at home one time, and nobody's expecting Wisconsin to go into East Lansing and leave with the win. That is, except the Badgers themselves, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Add another top 10 win to Greg Gard's resume. And that's it for our Badger Blueprint pregame show. For Andrew Bandstra, I'm Zach Hanley. Thanks for watching, and enjoy the game.